And hello out there, you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. This is episode number 13. How's everybody's week going? Mine's going pretty decent. A little hot, a little rainy. Not too sure how the weather is where you guys are. But we got football back. Got a little bit of bench clearing brawls going on with the Braves and the Marlins. I don't know if anybody saw that. We'll get into that a little bit. We're going to talk a little college football with the situation going on with the Maryland Terps. But you're probably asking yourself, where's King? Another type of schedule conflict that we had again. So he won't be here this week. Hopefully he'll be here next week. But you can follow us on Twitter. Follow me at Jimbo ST Sports. Follow King at King of Skunk Duck. Make sure you check him out. He's got some cool t-shirt designs for you guys to buy. I bought a couple from him because he's a very good graphic designer. You could also follow the show at ST Sports Podcast. So any type of comments or things you want us to talk about, just send a comment over there, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about anything. You guys are our friends. You're our peeps. Speaking of peeps, I think Bud Light is trying to show the Cleveland peeps some love, since the Cleveland Browns haven't been really showing them that much love on the field past season and a half or so. Well, I mean, they've been stinking for quite a few years now, but so Bud Light is going into, I think the article I read said 10 different bars throughout Cleveland and installing Bud Light fridges that are locked, and they will unlock after Cleveland Browns' first win of the season. That's when you know you're pretty bad. That's when you know your team is pretty bad, when they're setting up celebrations for your first win since 2016, I think it was, week 17 or so. And so when I saw that, I'm like, well, how are they gonna keep people out of there, out of the cooler or the fridge, whatever you want to call them? So they're going to be locked magnetically, and it's going to be hooked up to the Wi-Fi within the bars or whatnot. And once the game clock hits 0 of the Browns' first win, if they win, they automatically unlock, and each person in the bar at that time will get a free Bud Light 16-ounce can. And the other part of the article I found kind of funny was the spokesperson for Bud Light also said that they'll be in there every month to make sure there's fresh beer in there. So I don't even think Bud Light is too sure if the Browns are going to win any games this year. But you ask Jarvis Landry, you never know. You're lucky if they don't put 40 points up on you, or whatever other crazy thing he's been saying. I know I haven't watched the Hard Knocks thing about the Browns yet, but I know a lot of people are commenting about Landry. I guess he's saying a lot of crazy things on there. I said for a while I think he should be tested for marijuana with some of the stuff he's been saying. He said that. The one comment I think I will agree with him is they probably have the best wide receiving core duo, whatever you want to call it, in the NFL, and it's quite possible as long as all of them could get out of each other's way. I mean, you got Josh Gordon, who's always getting in trouble with the marijuana. Jarvis Landry is always mouthing off about something. You got Baker Mayfield, who's I know he's the quarterback, but you got a lot of personalities on that team, and it's gonna be curious to see if they all mesh well. They got a good defense. Defense definitely stepped up last year for them. just trying to figure out this offense now. And you got that rookie that just got popped, I think it was last week, for marijuana. Oh, and speaking of him too, I don't know if any of you guys saw how Hugh Jackson punished him by making him play more in the preseason. How is that a punishment? You're helping him get better, which is fine, but it's not a punishment. Actually sit him, make someone else, kind of gain ground on him. I guess, this rookie's like the second string or third string, like he's in line to get a lot of playing time, so give one of these rookies a push towards them. You never know what's going to happen. But, the Browns will be the Browns, and we'll see how many games they win this year, if they win anything. But the one thing I was, getting back to the Bud Light thing, the one thing I was thinking, that'll be funny, and I think the city will burn to its ground if this happens. What happens if the Browns win the first game, and those things malfunction and don't unlock, or the bar's Wi-Fi goes out and doesn't unlock those things? Are they gonna start rioting because they didn't get free beer? So curious to see how that all works out for the Cleveland people. I mean, they just lost LeBron going to LA, and the Cleveland Indians, they're good again. It's been a while since they've been good, but that's all they really got. So speaking of baseball in a way, I believe this happened just last night or night before, and I've been seeing a lot of fans and players upset over what happened between the Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins. So what happened was Atlanta Braves rookie, I'm not sure what position he plays, but Braves rookie Ronald Acuna Jr. has been on a real hot streak lately. I think hit 5 home runs in 5 straight games, and 2 of them I believe were against the Marlins. And so, like I said, last night or the night before this game happened, Jose Urena for the Marlins, starting pitcher, hit Acuna. And it's one thing to hit him. This guy's really taking it to you. You might want to brush him off the plate. But I think the reason why everybody's getting so upset over it is it was a fastball right at the ribs. I think they said it clocked in at 97.5 or 0.8. Either way, that's fast. And furthermore, they said it was actually the fastest pitch he's thrown all season, and the first time he's ever thrown a fastball to lead off a game. So I mean, everything's pointing to it being intentional. So when Acuna got plunked, the whole crowd started booing. Nothing really was happening. All of a sudden, the Braves skipper Brian Snitker came running out, and then that's when all the benches cleared. Bullpens came flying out onto the field, pushing, shoving, everything like that. And in a way, I gotta take the Braves manager's side here. I mean, it's one thing to, like I said before, to brush someone off the plate, but instead of trying to hurt somebody, and this kid's like 19 years old, 20 years old, he's a rookie, just wants to play the game, pitch to him, try to strike him out, try to make him do a ground ball, or potentially walk him. If you're that afraid of him, why do you got to throw a 98 mile an hour fastball? Everybody knows the unwritten rule. If you want to purposely plunk somebody, you throw a breaking ball at the backside. the ribs or the butt. Stay away from the arms and the legs. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Was Cunha, when he went to try to jump out of the way, elbow got in the way, and that's what got hit. And after all the commotion got calmed down and everything like that, when the Braves went back on the field and they're warming up to get the next inning going, Cunha waved to the trainers and said, he can't go, he's cramping up. So that's the backstory of the story. Now, the reason why I bring it up is a lot of players and a lot of fans think Jose Urena should be suspended for the year, the rest of the season. Now, here's my problem with that. Do I think he should be suspended? Yes. Because, everything points to it being intentional, on purpose. Do I think he should be suspended for the season, the rest of the season, which is, see, we're in August, about 2-3 more months, so you're looking at probably, maybe 10 more starts, something like that. I don't think he should be suspended for the season. Marlins aren't going to playoffs, so it's not like they're going to lose anything here. So suspending him for the season is not really going to do anything for it. Do I think he needs to be suspended? Yes. I would say maybe like a 15-20 game suspension. Now, unfortunately, with pitchers, when these type of suspensions come about, it's not 15 or 20 starts. It's probably for him, be 3 starts, 3 to 4 starts. And I'm curious to see what you guys think as far as how long should he be suspended for this. So maybe I'll try to put up a poll up after the show or tomorrow to see what you guys all think about it. But it's unfortunately a part of the game that's like I said, it's an unwritten thing. When this all happened, and the other part too was the umpires were afraid this was going to happen. So I see this a lot. I watch baseball a little bit more than King does. I see this a lot too. After the incident happens and after the bench clearing brawl happens, the umpires later on come out and say, we were a little concerned that this might happen. Well, if you're worried about it happening, why didn't you warn the teams before the game and say the first time this happens, both coaches are gone and both starting pitchers are gone, or whoever threw the pitch. And you know what? The only other thing with this game with Don Mattingly, he had a point. So when the bench clearing brawl happened and the rookie was getting attended to by the trainer, everybody's pushing, shoving. The manager for the Braves got ejected. The starting pitcher for the Marlins stayed in the game. So when the rookie got up to walk to first base, started walking to first base, and he threw his shin guard or some type of guard at the pitcher's mound, and that brought the players back out on the field again. And then that's when the starting pitcher for the Marlins got ejected. Now, Don Mattingly made the comment of, why didn't you eject him in the first place? If you were going to eject him in the first place, the first time around. It would have eliminated the second bench clearing, of everything. These umpires, I just don't think, I think they're afraid to make these type of decisions, which it's not good. You got the player's safety in your hands, and you're afraid to make that type of decision. So yeah, I personally think the Marlins pitchers should only be suspended, 15 to 20 games, That's roughly about 4 starts. That's basically a month and a half, with days off and stuff like that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? How long do you think that he should be suspended for? I'm going to put the poll out there on Twitter. Just follow us at ST Sports Podcast, and give us your opinion on there as well. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, has anybody seen what's going on with the University of Maryland? Man, they are in such a mess here. So I read this past week. They had one of their players pass away from a heat stroke from a May 29th workout. And turns out that none of the trainers or whoever's supposed to be paying attention to these players and everything didn't follow the protocols for heat stroke or heat illness. And so it came out this past week that the university has parted ways with Rick Court, who was the assistant athletic director for sports performance. And you see this a lot, and you're going to probably see this with, me and King talked about a couple weeks ago with Urban Meyer. Court resigned on Monday, according to a letter he posted on Twitter, and received a financial settlement with the university. Why is this guy getting a settlement? I mean, he's supposed to be helping to look over these kids and making sure they're safe and healthy, and he didn't do his job. If that was me or you, we would just get flat out fired, no severance package, no nothing. So this guy should never have gotten anything. But the president of the university, went on record saying that they accept the legal and moral responsibility for the mistakes made by its athletic training staff. Yeah, that's all good and dandy, but what's that going to do now? I hope they, with this story, I hope they help the family out as far as financially, with the funerals and stuff like that. But the article I read said, according to Bill Murphy, the McNair family's attorney, the Jordan McNair had a body temperature of 106 degrees when he was admitted into Washington Hospital on May 29th. And nobody from the university called 911 until an hour after McNair suffered a seizure at 5 p.m. If your body is 106 degrees, you're showing some type of signs of heat exhaustion or soon to be heat stroke. Why wasn't anybody taking care of this kid? But of course, though, Maryland University maintains that no student, athlete, trainer, or coach saw or reported, this kid taking a seizure. But through the other thing that I saw was through the review, McNair didn't receive any type of medical care, and following up the procedures for any type of, when you're taking a heat stroke or heat exhaustion, no processes were followed that they had in line. And unfortunately, McNair died 2 weeks later after he took that seizure. Now this article that I have here that I have up says that according to preliminary findings from a university-hired external investigation led by Walters Incorporated, the Maryland staff did not take McNair's temperature at the workout, did not apply a cold water immersion treatment, and did not follow the emergency response plan. So again, my question that I gotta bring up is, this guy that resigned, why is he getting any type of settlement? Him and his crew did not follow the plans that they have in place, that I'm pretty sure they learned in medical school. Why did he even get paid? That money should be going to this family that lost their son because of laziness that this trainer and their staff did, not paying attention. Like, again, when you see someone that is showing signs of heat exhaustion, why aren't you taking their temperature like it said? Why aren't you putting ice packs on their head or their neck or trying to cool them down? They just went about their business like nothing was going on. And it's a shame because it takes one life to lose for someone to get in trouble, and that's too big of a price. These colleges need to pay attention to the kids a little more. I mean, you had the Penn State thing come out, years ago with the Sandusky thing. You got the Urban Meyer thing going on now, and now you got this. Someone needs to start stepping up with these colleges when they start seeing something bad happening and speak up. Okay, yeah, you might be a tattletale, you might be, a snitch, but you may be saving people's lives, or you may be saving people, mental issues because of abuse. There's got to be a better clampdown on some of these colleges and some of the practices that they do. This is just disgusting. 19-year-old kid passed away. 19 years old. We feel sorry for the parents and the family of this young player, and hope they could heal and get through this tough time. But moving on now. We got some football going on. We got the Eagles and the Patriots tonight, and Nick Foles didn't play last week. I watched a little bit of the game. I talked a little bit about it last Friday because we recorded a little bit later in the week. But Nick Foles plays this week, and it's kind of funny because he's going up against the team that he beat in February, which, by the way, I finally got my Super Bowl ring. My buddy gave it to me this past Sunday. Finally got that. It's really nice. And no, obviously it's not the real one. It's the knockoff ones. I think me and King may have talked about a little bit a couple episodes ago. But one more week closer. We got, I think this will be our second preseason game, so we got 2 more preseason games, and then football season will be officially back. We got the college games pretty much starting September 1st, I believe it is. We're hoping to hang out with King so we could watch some Notre Dame football. Hopefully, this year will be a better year than last year. We went to some bowl game. We went to a bowl game. Not as good of a season that we were hoping for, but speaking of the Eagles and the Irish, my boy Josh Adams, I'm hoping he makes the roster. I liked him at Notre Dame. He's a very tough runner. The only problem with him is he does get hurt a lot. And my other friend, who's an Eagles fan also, argued with me in the beginning about Philly signing him, saying, same thing, he's always hurt this net. My thing is, when he was at Notre Dame, he was the workhorse. He had to do all the carrying, he had to do all the catching. With how Philly and Doug Peterson and Deuce Staley run their running backs, he's not going to have much wear and tear on him. I mean, they pretty much run 3-4 running backs a game. They run a running back by committee, and I think that's going to help him. So I'm pulling for him. I'm tell you what, if he makes the roster, I'm going to buy a Philadelphia Eagles jersey with him. My cousin, who's not an Eagles fan, I may buy one for him because he's a Josh Adams fan. But man, we're right there. Just gotta get a couple more weeks in, and then all the trash talking is real. Hopefully King will be on during football season. I'm sure he will be, and you're gonna see we're very mellow these past few episodes, just because it's kind of the lull in sports year. For us, like, we don't really. He watches soccer. I don't watch soccer. But once football gets going, him with the Giants, me with the Eagles, then leads right into hockey. You guys are going to have a good 6-7 months of fighting and trash talking, and it's going to be some good times. But that's going to do it for us this week. You can follow us on Twitter at ST Sports Podcast. You can follow me at Jimbo ST Sports, and you can follow King at King of Skunk Duck. And like I said, check out some of his t-shirts. He has some cool t-shirts out there. You can listen to us on iTunes. We're on Spotify now, actually. Google Play, TuneIn, pretty much almost all of them. We're slowly getting to the other ones. If there's any other ones out there that you would rather listen to us to, please let us know. We'll get on there also. But till next week, have a safe weekend. See you guys later.